Okay, so now I'm going to teach you how to go ahead and use your username and password I gave you for Khan Academy. This way, when I'm instructing other students, you can go ahead and get onto Khan Academy and be self-sufficient and get started in learning some great math. So the first thing you're going to want to do is go up here to where it says log in, and you're going to click on that. Since I've already given you your username, you are going to type that in, and for this I'm just putting in a random account that I already made up for all students to watch this display. Alright, so you've put in your username here and your password here. Then you're going to click sign in, and it's going to welcome you. I already have your parents' permission, so you're going to go over here to this little X where it's saying you and your parents agree, and you click that and then click start learning. So it's welcoming you to Khan Academy. Now, since we like to see all kinds of new things, I'm going to point out a couple of things to you. One up here, it has your name and the home page. When this lights up here, it's some notifications that are available to you. Obviously, right now you've just signed in and there aren't any. So down here it says welcome to Khan Academy, and you can start by choosing a subject. We're going to talk a little bit about those, but mainly when you go on to Khan Academy in 5th grade, I'm going to have you stick to the math subject tab over here. You can see where there's some science, economics and finance, arts and humanities, computing, test prep, partner content, etc. Down here there's some neat videos that you can watch. If you want the history of Sal Khan, we've talked a little bit about him in class and how amazing he is. You could watch a 5-minute, 55-second video on him. The beauty of algebra, excuse me. So there's a couple of topics and different videos that you could watch. But again, the main reason you're going to be getting on Khan Academy is to help extend your math knowledge. So we're going to go up here to math, and then you'll go over here to the sidebar, and it shows you that there's all kinds of math that we can continue to learn even as adults. But since you're in 5th grade, we're going to go ahead and have you click on the 5th grade tab, and then it gives a little bit of description about what 5th grade math is here in the U.S. and what you should know and what you will be learning. And it starts out with wanting to know what you kind of already know. So you're going to go ahead and go over here to the Get Started tab. It says try out our 5th grade U.S. mission. And then you could even ask, what is the mission? So before we click on that really quickly, I just wanted to show you that you could go into the arithmetic operations where it would be, just the basics of what you should already know, the subtraction, addition, multiplication, and we're scrolling down looking at fractions, place value and decimals, measurement and data, geometry, and then algebraic thinking. And these are all the core standards that we're learning this year in 5th grade. So let's go ahead and click out Get Started. It's going to basically assess you on a couple of things, wanting to know what do you exactly know at this point. So you want to go ahead and get started for your warm-up. And there's a couple of things I want to show you on here. Excuse me. So here is our first question that it's asking you. So one, it's wanting you to compare. You're going to compare the decimals of 92 hundredths and 54 hundredths. Of course, you would click is 92 hundredths less than, greater than, or equal to 54 hundredths. But before we answer that, I want to show you a few things. Down here is the Show Scratch Pad. You can actually click on that, and it gives you a toolbar up here of colors to use, so that if you wanted to write something out, you could say, okay, 92 hundredths, is that greater than or less than 54 hundredths? And it just gives you an opportunity to write it out. I will let you know when you first start using this, it seems really weird because you're using your mouse, and therefore it makes it a little more difficult to write with. And you could, of course, change the colors to figure out what you would do. Over here is where you'll answer, and let's say you say, yeah, I have no idea what this is. I haven't learned that yet. It gives you an out right here of the button, I haven't learned this yet. Or maybe you're like, yeah, I think I've learned this, but I don't really remember. Here's a hint they could give you. And then if you're stuck, you can watch a video. And again, this is the crux of why Khan Academy is so amazing, because if your teacher can't come over and help you right now, the video probably can. So I'm going to go ahead and click on the video so that we can see together how it could help you understand how we're going to compare these decimals. So we'll click on that, and it'll start a short video to show us comparing decimals.
Let's compare 0.1 to 0.070. So this 1 right over here, it is in the tenths place. So it literally represents 1 times 1/10. 1 times 1/10, which is obviously the same thing as 1/10. Now, when we look at this number right over here, it has nothing in the tenths place. It has 7 in the hundredths place. So this is the hundredths place right over here. And then it also has nothing in the thousandths place. So this number can be rewritten as 7 times 1 over 100, or 7 hundredths. 7 hundredths. And now we could compare these two numbers. And there's two ways you could think about it. You could try to turn 1/10 into hundredths. And the best way to do that, if you want the denominator to be increased by a factor of 10, you need to do the same thing to the numerator. So all I did is I multiplied the numerator and denominator by 10. 10 100ths is the exact same thing as 1/10. And here it becomes very clear. 10 hundredths is definitely larger than 7 hundredths. Another way you could think about this is, look, if you were to increment by hundredths here, you would go to 700, or you'd start at 7 hundredths, 8 hundredths, 9 hundredths, and then you'd get to 10 hundredths. So then you would get to that number. So this number, multiple ways you could think about it, is definitely larger. So let me write this down. This is definitely larger. Greater than. This is greater than that. The greater than symbol opens to the larger value.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop that for now so we can continue on with our warm-up. So we're looking at 92 hundredths. Is it greater than or less than 54 hundredths? We talked about using money. Would 92 cents be greater than 54 cents? So we'll go ahead and click on this, and we're going to come over here to check our answer and see how we did. And it says correct. Next question. When we get stuck, we're like, where do we go next? We click on this button again, and it's going to give us our next question. So now it's asking us which equation shows that 2 is a factor of 8. And again, we would go 8 equal 2 times 4, 16. We look at all of our possibilities. If we're not sure, and again, it's okay if we don't answer it correctly, but you might want to go over here and say, I'd like a hint. Show me what maybe can jiggle through some of those brain cells. 2 is a factor of 8 if 2 times another whole number equals 8. So 2 times what would be 8? 2 is a factor of 8 because 2 times 4 equals 8. So we say, okay, maybe we're going to go back up here then, because that's very close to the same equation, and we're correct. So again, correct. Next question. Here is where having this scratch pad helps you. When you have 810 divided by 9, you say, yikes, I'm not real sure. A couple of ways you can do this. You can have a scratch piece of paper with you handy with your pencil, and you can write it alongside the computer desk, or you can try and practice getting used to using the scratch pad with your mouse. And again, it's not easy. So you might want to switch colors so you keep an eye on what you're putting up on top, which will be your quotient. And you ask yourself, can 9 go into 8 equally? And you say nope. So we're going to scooch it over and say, okay, can 9 go into 81? Yes. How many times? Let me grab another color. 9 times. And it's not wanting. Oh, here we go. And it's not wanting to write it up there, and I'm not quite sure right. So anyway, we know that it will go into 81 9 times. There it goes. 9 times 9 is 81. And then we'll subtract. 81 minus 81 is 0. You want to look at bringing down that last digit. Since there is nothing to bring down except for a 0, we're still left with this place value. And you should know that you, of course, have to fill that in. So we look at 90 as our quotient. 810 divided by 9 should be 90. Over here is where it's wanting the answer, and you would just type in the 90 and then check your answer. Again, if you weren't familiar with long division with the algorithm, you could watch the video, look at hints, and I'm just going to try to get you through this first little assessment so that we can kind of move on it and I can show you what you need to do next. All right, the next one's asking you, if you were to look at this diagram on this door, would it be an acute angle, obtuse angle, right angle? Again, if you don't remember your angles, you could look for hints, you could watch a video, but just to scooch this along, we're going to kind of answer a couple. And I might, let's make this one wrong, just so that you can see, hey, you know what? Sometimes we make mistakes, and that is okay too. So we're going to write out 81 times 57, excuse me. All right, so then we go back to our algorithm of 7 times 1 is 7. And let's say that you're like, gosh, 8 times 7, 8 times 7. Let's say that you messed up and you said it's 49, and that is okay because we're learning, and I just want to do this one incorrectly so we can see what happens. All right, so we automatically bring down our 0 as our placeholder. Then we go maybe cross out the 1s because we're done with that category. 5 times 1 would be 5. And then, of course, your 8 times 5. And we'll want to add to this. Since we've done the multiplication incorrectly at the top, we're going to probably add this incorrectly, and I am doing this quickly just to show you. All right, so if we had our product of 4,497, we're just going to type it in over here, and we're going to check our answer, and it's going to say, incorrect answer, please try again. So then let's say maybe we say, oh, what did we do wrong? We could go back and check ourselves and say, okay, where did I mess up? Or you might say, could you go ahead and give me a hint? And if it wasn't something we remembered how to do, of course, you could go back to your video and look at ways that they suggest for you to do multiplication. So what we've learned in our classroom is that we sometimes just go ahead and go back and do the math. 81 times 57. And you see that it's okay that we have missed it and it's just saying try it again, because we can absolutely do that. So we look at 7 times 1 is 7. And in this case, 8 times 7, we know it's going to be 56. So then we might go, oh, that's where I made my mistake. Okay, we go on to automatically pulling down our placeholder, and then maybe crossing out our 1s because we're done with that. And we pick maybe a different color because it helps our brain see what we're doing. 5 times 1 is 5. 5 times 8 is 40. And then we add it again. Now, if this starts to become too busy for you, if there are too many numbers with your scratch pad, again, go ahead and just get a scratch piece of paper and your pencil, and that's okay too. All right, so let's see if we can put this product, and I did this kind of fast, so maybe I didn't even do it right. We'll find out. And we're going to type in our new product, check our answer, and we've got it correct. So we move on to the next question, and now it's telling us, all right, move the orange dot to the number that equals 3 times 3 seconds. So we've just finished learning how to multiply our whole number times our fraction. And again, we're talking, okay, we go up to 3 seconds. And if this number line confuses you, hey, I'd like a hint. We move the length 3 seconds on the number line 3 times. All right, so would this be 2 times and this be 3 times? I don't know. Let's check. Hello, we did it. Awesome. Show points. So again, it's just a fun way to learn math. It's not a big deal if we don't get it. We have lots of hints to look at. Now we've made it through that initial assessment, and it's kind of telling you, okay, so these were some that you did all right on. These are some areas that you might need some practice on, and that is okay. So now you have your total energy points earned of 683, and since you've moved up in points, you can now customize your avatar. And of course, the more points you get, the different avatars you can unlock. So I want to show you really quickly some of the avatars that you can have at this level, starting with the leaf. The leaf at this point is the only one that you can change color. So if you want to be a blue leaf, you can go ahead and change the color over here, and then click Save. If you want to scroll through to find out what your different avatar options are, again, you have the left and the right buttons. This one's a leafer, the Triceratops, and you've actually just now unlocked the Aqualine, so maybe that's the one you're going to use for now because you're like, hey, I've unlocked it. All right, so now that you have taken that initial assessment, you can click out of this, and here is your dashboard. This is going to be where you go each time you log into the Khan Academy, and you can look up, okay, today I think I'm going to work on powers of 10, or today I might convert units. I definitely want to start working more on fractions. So you can look at all of these different things. You can watch the videos, and then it will let you start going to different places where you can work on them. So keep me posted. I will be able to check into this and see. You obviously have 2 notifications now. You can click on it and it's saying, hey, you completed your first math task. Now you have your new avatar, and you have earned a badge for challenge accepted. So continually check back on your notifications. Of course, as always, if you have any questions at all, make sure you ask me. And welcome to Khan Academy.